What's poppin', thugs? Welcome back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We are here to go over The Valley, the show that will not end. 16 weeks later, it's still on TV. Next season, I'm probably not gonna do lives for The Valley. They need to figure out Lala. They need to figure out Brittany. Oh Jesus, Lord. They need to figure some stuff out with The Valley. I'm tired of the Brittany Cartwright pity party. I don't feel sorry for people who choose to have plastic surgery for free on national television and then try to get at everybody. Brittany has just proven why I didn't like her on BPR. But these people on my nerves. This was season 3, episode 16, appropriately titled Balls Voyage or Voyage. I couldn't tell what they were. I think they wanted to say Bon Voyage, but balls because he got that vasectomy. I'm bored. And I need The Valley to give me something so that I am not bored. But welcome back to everybody. Welcome back, and welcome in. We are breaking down this episode of The Valley. Let's shout out our moderator, American Born. Anytime you see a moderator in the chat, it is a good thing. They are here to keep our community healthy and not toxic. We don't want that. We want healthy. So I appreciate you, AB. I know I am a couple minutes late, so my apologies. I was clocking out of work and all of these fun things. Oh my goodness. And they are picking the cameras back up. Exactly. So that's the Valley tea we're going to start with. So allegedly, I'm just going to say allegedly, Brittany and Jax, they are still going through a divorce. They are not fully divorced yet. The divorce has not been finalized. However, her publicist has been seen cozying up to him in a romantic type of way. Now, they are not together, so the publicist can do what she wants. The publicist was not meant to be Brittany's friends. The publicist was her publicist. And her publicist exists because the publicist did the job of protecting Jax and Brittany from their use of the N-word against fabulously melanated people such as myself. Again, you hate us because you ain't us. And that's why you look the way you look, heifer. But honestly, this is going to sound really mean. Ha ha, Brittany. Ha ha. You spent an entire season on television trying to come at Danny and Mia because you are jealous of their marriage. Meanwhile, your ex-husband is still making you look stupid in the marriage you're trying to leave. Focus on your own storyline instead of trying to hate on Danny and Mia, Brittany. Please. Please focus on it because you have a lot going on yourself. Hi, DM Rocks. Hey, Janet, Lala, Michelle, and Brittany are trying to split up Nia and Kristen. What's pathetic is they're working so hard at it. And if I were Kristen, I would be offended. But I think the reason they're not getting anywhere is we have to remember Kristen's much older than everyone. So they're not going to get far. But I think it's petty to try and split up a friendship. Like, those are not your friends if they try to end your friendships with somebody else for no reason. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. AB says, I do feel bad for Brittany and Michelle. Both have had to pay for their husbands. I don't feel bad for either of them. The only one I feel bad for is Michelle. Because I think with Michelle, Jesse sold her a lie. He made it seem like he was financially together and they was going to have this big, great life. And really all he did was add debt, stress, hurt, and loneliness. So I do feel bad for Michelle. I do not feel bad for Brittany. Brittany knew how Jax was before she got with him. He was already on TV, did Stassi dirty, did Tom Sandoval because he slept with Kristen. I don't feel bad for Brittany. Brittany is a gold digger, a country-ass gold digger that moved from Kentucky to California because she saw that man on TV, saw that he wasn't SH you-know-what T, and she said, well, I'm going to give it a try because he's going to give me a new rack. He literally told her in order to be with her, she needed to get a boob job. Like, no. And now all she's done is botch her face. Her face used to be pretty to me, but she has botched her face. She keep getting plastic surgery. I don't understand what she's doing, but Brittany knew exactly what she was getting with Jax, and she defended his shenanigans when she was married to him. Now, because she's not with him, she's suddenly not okay. I don't feel sorry for that heifer. She knew what she was getting. Did you see the preview for the next episode? Kristen accidentally threw Nia under the bus. I don't even think it was accidental. If Nia is trying to convince Zach not to hang out with them, she should, because look what they're trying to do against her. So I don't think she's per se throwing her under the bus. Kristen's trying to go both ways, but I don't think they're letting her be neutral. I don't think Nia's letting her be neutral, and I don't think that Janet and her little friends. I don't think anybody is allowing Kristen to be neutral. Everyone's trying to control the narrative in the way that works for them, which is why this season has sucked. Because this is like, you guys have talked about one thing the entire season, and it's been 16 weeks. Like, I'm tired. I'm so over the valley. I know the after show is better than the actual show. The after show clips entertain me more than the show. I do agree with that. I do definitely agree with you there. Now, don't forget, I'm from Kentucky. Listen, I have family all in the country. Usually people are sweet, but she is a country gold digger. There's a difference. There's a difference. She does not represent Kentucky. She doesn't. But between her and Shay over there on 90 Day Fiance, they not helping that state. They not. But she is a country gold digger. Honestly, people from places like Kentucky, the country, people who live and work on farms, live in the sticks, those are the people I prefer 9 times out of 10. But Brittany is one of those people who seemed like she was so eager to get the hell out of Kentucky. So that's what she did. That was her whole storyline. But now I'm over her trying to play like she's sweet. She's not sweet. She's not nice. I think she's mean. And she's not a good friend. Just saying. She seems like a hater, but that's my opinion. Jasmine is going to be having a wedding. We saw her wedding pics in real time. Her and Melissa are married today. I'm confused because Jasmine loves to play the race card and throw out, like, I have it harder because I'm a lesbian. But your mama was talking about how you was dating men and having a hard time. So did you just now realize that you like women and come over? I have questions, Jasmine. I'm genuinely curious. I feel like Jasmine is thirsty for attention on this show, and it makes her come off as unlikable. She clearly works hard. She's got the love that, you know, the Valley's supposed to be couples and things like that. She's got the partner. She's a pretty girl. I genuinely feel like Jasmine needs to stop following behind Janet and Michelle and Brittany. Have your own mind. Stop just trying to fit in. Because obviously she's closer with, like, what's his face, Zach and them. Like, I don't know. That's where Jasmine loses me. But I wasn't invested in her wedding. It's nice that her mother showed up. It's nice that she seems to have a really big support system. But I just, like, I saw the pictures. It looked like it was a great wedding. It looks like they had a good day. What more are we supposed to? What do you want from us, Jasmine? You spend all of your time complaining about stuff that you've already gotten an apology for, and you spend all of your time being mad at your friends for not defending you when you're wrong. And now we're supposed to care about your wedding? Congrats. I hope the nuptials go well. Melissa is obviously doing this show for you because she does not give anything, not personality, nothing, but they do look to be like they are in love, and I wish them the best. She looked pretty in all the wedding dresses. That's all I got. That's all I got. Brittany, I saw you in that Shein outfit, girl. I saw that dress on Shein. It's $13.10. She got a good deal. Shout out to you, Brittany. That's my compliment for the deal. That's my compliment for the day. DM Rock says, this might be crazy, but can we get Sheena on this show so Lala can focus on her? DM Rock said, does not sound crazy. That's actually what the plan was. Sheena was supposed to be a part of the cast, but that was taken from her after her book came out, and she pretty much trashed Bravo as a network, her co-stars, LVP. I think Sheena would have been a good fit for the show, but, you know, what can we do? No, they aren't helping us at all, and now we have that a-hole Nick on Married at First Sight. I know. It's too many stressful people, y'all. I'd love to see Lala on her good as gold. I love it. I heard there is a possible shakeup for the next season of The Valley. I hope so. If there's no cast shakeup, I'm not doing it live. It's a waste of my time. It really would be. I need them to do a cast shakeup. I know they were counting on Brittany and Zax to kind of be like the face of The Valley, but we don't like them. We don't like them. So please get somebody interesting. Brittany has always kind of needed Jackson supporting people to be interesting. Some people just aren't for reality TV. I would prefer Brittany be a friend of. Like, I don't care. I don't care to see her date, because with that boy that she showed us earlier this season, she's still making stupid, dumb decisions. Like, I'm not invested in Brittany. I don't understand why Lala is here. It seems like she's just here for a check. She can't show Ocean, her firstborn, because of Randall. And she's obviously not like dating for real. So it's like, I don't really care for Lala. They definitely need a cast shakeup. I think it would help the show. I'm even here if they keep Janet and just get rid of some of the people that's been beefing with her and bring in some other people so we can be reminded of Janet season 1, who was also evil and problematic and messy. Because remember, Janet season 1 had problems with Kristen. She had problems with Zach. She had problems with a couple of people. So people like to focus on, oh, people only dislike Janet because of the Danny and Nia situation. No, since season 1, I've never liked Janet. 1, she was hard to look at. And 2, I've never seen somebody be so messy. And I was disgusted with her hiding behind her messiness because of the pregnancy. And then she came back not pregnant and got worse. So I'll never see it for Janet, but she is good TV because she lacks accountability and she gives Karen. That's great TV. Now, change up the cast so we can move on from this Danny and Nia drama and keep Janet so she can prove you're just not likable. At this point, she's not likable. She's messy and she lacks accountability. And I don't like people who throw rocks and hide their hands. Like, I would respect Janet if she stood in stuff, but instead she goes back and forth. She changes her stories. It's frustrating. And then she purposefully works to like divide the group. And I don't like that at all. I heard they asked someone from the challenge to join the show, but they declined. Y'all, I am so excited. So for those who do not know, I am a huge challenge fan. I have been watching the challenge since it was Real World versus Road Rules. I love it. And they just announced the new season will be back on August 7th. And Nelson is back. For those who don't know, he lost his leg in like a DUI or something. So he's going to be the first player to compete on the challenge as an amputee survivor. But the challenge is one of my favorite shows. I love it so much. That's why I don't cover it. But I'm looking forward. I am looking forward. I will definitely be watching the challenge, DM Rock. So feel free to DM me about the challenge. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, you've never watched. I only got into it because I used to be a huge Real World fan. I loved the Real World. I loved the Real World. I used to love the Real World. Yes, Johnny Bananas is still there. Nelson's back. Corey's back. Cara Maria looks like it's going to be back. There's a bunch of people who are coming back. I'm happy about it. I'm hoping it's a good season. Maybe I'll do like little shorts on the episode of the challenge just to go over like how I felt about the episode. But, you know, what can we do? America Boy said, I can't stand Johnny Bananas. Ew. I cracked up when New York on House of Villains called him a saber-toothed reptilian looking something. I said, ooh, New York. Ooh, New York. You did not have to get at him like that. You didn't have to do him like that. The next thing we see, y'all, is Luke and Kristen having a talk. It sounds like they're going to go to therapy. There wasn't much there. Again, this is why this group is unrealistic, and I don't like what they do with trying to get people to like admit stuff and be accountable within the group. Like, when couples get into it, they solve the problem on their own. That's it, and that's all. That's it, and that's all. I'm gonna move around, so I'll be off camera for just a moment. Let me not drop the computer though. That would be terrible, y'all, if I just drop the computer. I'm a klutz, so it's likely to happen. Their talk was okay. I do agree with Luke though. They need to get their footing before they get to like planning a wedding. I think a lot of people rush into trying to get married, which is low-key desperate and pathetic. Marriage is just a piece of paper if you don't have your actual soulmate. That's my genuine opinion. So I hope that they take their time to marriage because y'all, I think Luke and Kristen could work. He seems able to deal with Kristen, and Kristen is impossible to deal with. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Kristen is genuinely impossible to deal with, but like they're trying, they have a baby. I do think they love each other. I do. So I think Kristen and Luke will be okay. I feel like I say that every week, and every week it gets a little bit better, but I do feel like they'll be okay. Oh yeah, New York tour Johnny Bananas, a new one. But who did she read for Filth in the Best Way? It was Omarosa. I said, ooh, the way she got it, Omarosa came back and was like, listen, y'all, I don't support that orange thing in the White House. Omarosa came back and got her life together after that. Um, Kristen does go to see Lala, and I felt bad for Lala. I did. I know a lot of people give Lala like a lot of hate, and I understand it because she came into a show and she's doing too much. And I feel like she takes advantage of her sobriety and weaponizes everyone else's lack thereof, if that makes sense. However, I felt for Lala because I did watch Vanderpump Rules all of the seasons. I was a huge VPR fan, and Lala, she did go through a lot with the drinking. She went through a lot with that crew. That's why I'm kind of surprised they're coming at Danny and Nia so hard, especially consider what Lala went through when she was coming into the VPR group. But I feel for her. Her dog, it looks like she might have to put her dog down. She's had her dog for many years. This is one of the things that I get. Dog owners love dogs, but I like an independent animal that lives long, okay? Okay, my cat is 13 and doing great. A dog at 13 is, especially bigger, like larger breed dogs, that's where things like hip dysplasia, issues with food, like a lot starts happening. And it's sad that dogs don't live so long because they can be great pets, but this is why I don't want a dog. Because it's like you get attached to a pet that's really not going to live more than 20 years. It's unfortunate. And then a lot of dog owners keep their dogs alive when they're suffering, which is selfish. So I felt for Lala because to me, pets are like family. And I know that that's the hardest thing to do is to, have to make the choice to put your pet down. Like, I know people might think, oh, Mrs. Best, you're being overly sensitive. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? But like, I would cry at the thought of like having to put my cat down. Like that would tear me up. Like I would probably take a break from work, YouTube, like everything. It would fuck me up. It would, to say the least. So I do feel for Lala, and you can see that this dog situation is causing her pain. But they move on to discuss like the husband comment that Danny made in Mexico. I said, Lala, having no husband really bothered you. You really thought you was going to steal Randall from his wife and you was going to become the new one? Oh, no, absolutely not. And I knew that comment bothered you. How do you think Danny feels being accused of doing stuff drunk when he hasn't done anything drunk? The only reason him being drunk this season has been a problem is because everyone is making it a problem. But if we look at this season when Danny has been drunk, aside from talking to Nia crazy, he ain't touched nobody bad, gone off. And when he has talked to Nia crazy, it's because the rest of them are tripping on him getting drunk and she's trying to calm him down. Now, does that make it okay for him to talk to his wife crazy? No, absolutely not. However, I think that's why he and Nia are together, because a strong marriage is sometimes talking to each other crazy and having the whole world against you. And then it's you and yours against the rest of the world. So, to people who understand a healthy relationship, including the ups and downs, and a healthy marriage, we look at Danny and Nia and we say, okay, the way he talked to her, that's not okay. He's going to have to figure that out. But it still looks like a good and strong and healthy marriage. To the people who think they know a lot, but probably done had a bunch of toxic situations and ain't got nobody, they going to look at this and be like, oh, it's the end of time. Like, Danny and Nia are not as bad as people want them out to be. And I think that's why the cast is upset. But he does need to speak to women correctly. I have to agree with Lala on that. The way he talks to his wife when he's put Nia through so much public embarrassment, like, please correct yourself, Danny. But Lala, you're new to the group. As a woman, if a bitch like Lala approached my husband, I would have blocked Lala. Okay, I might have pushed her in the pool. Because why are you addressing him? Address the woman. Because trust and believe, if Danny addresses them, don't talk to us like that. We're women. But y'all can come at him any kind of way? No. You got a problem with him? He has a wife. Talk to her. But you don't want to talk to her. You want to scream at him. So I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I'm over it. But Lala and Kristen also talk about Kristen being a new mom. And I felt like Lala gave like terrible advice. Telling her to go out with her girlfriends when she has a man at home is not the best advice. That's the advice you give to your single friends. Tell her to practice self-care and to just inch herself back into doing stuff. But honestly, Lala, don't give anyone advice. Don't. Please don't. Because Lala, you commented on somebody else's drinking when you didn't know how to control your own. You had to go and get help. You commented on someone else's marriage when you've never even been a wife. or even a fiance. Like, I just want her to chill out. Like, chill out. Because Lala is likable, y'all. It's just later seasons of Vanderpump Rules and her coming back on the Valley, she's doing too much. And I think it's turning people off of her. No, you loved VPR, not the reboot. I don't think anyone liked the reboot though, because I believe they got canceled. The cast was terrible. I didn't understand the cast. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, see, that's exactly why I can't do dogs. So, like, if your dog makes it to 20, like that tells me you've done a great job as an owner, because they don't live that long. And that's the other reason why I prefer big dogs versus these small fake, breeds of dogs, unfortunately, that people just been crossbreeding and figuring out. Like, 9 times out of 10, they'll live longer than them small things. I don't let mine suffer. When it's time to make the hard choice, I just do it. Yeah. It's an act of love, really, because would you want to suffer? It's kind of like when you have to pull the plug on someone who's been on life support. Like, quality of life matters. So, good for you in doing that. I know it's a difficult thing, but, I love the pet owners who do the right thing. I just don't like Danny either, sober or drunk. That's a big thing that I think a lot of the cast doesn't want to say. It seems like before they were talking about like the Danny issues, if we go back to season 1 or 2, you can catch comments from everyone on the cast like they don't really want to deal with Danny. He's boring. He's just the dad. But then when he drinks, he's belligerently obnoxious. So I really think Danny and Nia need to leave the show. Like, even though I like them and I feel like what Janet has done is wrong, I don't feel like they need to be on the show, because prior to this Danny being a drunk guy who gets touchy situation, they bored me season 1. They really did bore me. If you go back and watch my reviews with James, I would be like, why does all she talk about is her weight? Like, my God, I get it. Women have babies all the time and it takes them time to lose weight. This is not a storyline. Like, they are boring, and that's okay because they're regular. Go be regular off camera. If you don't feel safe drinking with this group of friends, then you don't have to be around them. Nia still is getting gigs. That's where she was during this episode. She was judging a Miss America pageant. Like, Nia gets gigs. Danny works and does voice acting. The little twins get gigs. Like, they don't need the show. I want Danny and Nia to leave the show, personally. Janet is desperate, and I just want her to suffer so she could stay. Now the boys go to meet with Danny before he gets a vasectomy. Jesse got down on one knee and gave a toast to Danny's balls. Let me tell you, Jesse is funny. Jesse is funny. When Jesse is good, he's good. When Jesse is annoying, he's awful. But Jesse is funny. When he has his good moments, he has his good moments. But Jesse has been clocking stuff this season, because he mentioned to the gentleman when talking, he was like, so you guys, Janet was talking about her trauma, saying that she experienced SA. And he was like, I don't want to be rude, but he said, it's interesting that she's never mentioned this before. It is interesting. Now, some people who've gone through SA will not mention it. And then there's some people who will mention it. Like, most of the people who are regulars on my channel are aware that I've experienced it. Like, it's a weird thing to just randomly bring up when it's convenient for you to not look crazy for not minding your business, if that makes sense. Because nothing happened to Janet. We have to remember, Danny has done nothing to her. Nothing. She's trying to make him a problem, but he hasn't done anything to her. And just because you were a victim of SA doesn't give you the right to project your experience onto other people, especially when it has nothing to do with you. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. But in my opinion, Janet is evil, and no one can convince me otherwise, because the fact that you would bring your SA into this to protect yourself from not knowing how to mind your business is personally insulting to not just me, but all victims of SA. Because you don't put your experience on the other people. That is wrong. Like, you don't do that. So I'm glad that Jesse is clocking that. But also, Janet, everybody has trauma of all sorts. The world doesn't move around your trauma. Just because you have trauma doesn't give you the right to not apologize when you're wrong, you stupid bitch. That's not how it works. Like, this is why she is not likable. It is triggering, and I'm over it. But Danny got his vasectomy. It took 7.5 minutes. I'm surprised he did it on camera, but woohoo. Better him than Nia, because to get your tubes tied is a major operation, but a vasectomy I've heard is reversible and it took 7 minutes. He's fine. American Born says, yes, Danny and Nia need to leave the show and worry about the 4 under 4 kids they have. Okay. Because obviously they don't have time to film with the cast. And then in addition to that, the cast complains about having to drive to Santa Clarita. And I'm sure they don't enjoy having to drive out to the valley, because to get to the valley, y'all, you drive past LA. So I don't think they fit the show. They need to let go of it. We have said the same thing. All of a sudden, Janet brings it out. Right. I don't like that. It's given no one was accepting her BS. And so now she's trying to use this. And this is what, I'm sorry, this is what white women do. When it's not going their way, they're going to find a way to make it their way and weaponize and make everyone else the problem. Like, just be accountable. Like, Janet, this is why Jasmine called you a Karen last season, because you're acting like one. Why do we care about your tears when you don't care about nobody else's? Like, Janet is vile. Can't stand her. Terrible person, it seems. Now, everyone but Danny and Nia, because Nia's judging a Miss America pageant, and Danny is at home with 4 kids under the age of 4, icing his balls to prevent him from having baby number 5. And everybody is discussing the trip, and they mention and discuss the fact that Zach followed and unfollowed Janet. And he explained that he is not there yet with Janet, and he has made that clear. But Zach, I love you. Zach, you're one of my favorites, but you have been wishy-washy with this Janet situation. Now, it's one thing to just be truly neutral. It's another thing to be acting like you and Janet are cool and can have a friendship. But then on the other end, you're like defending Nia like till you can't no more. Like, which one is it? But I really don't think Zach really fully trusts Janet, and she seems to be trying to force her way into friendship with him. And separate from the Danny and Nia issue, season 1 going into season 2, Zach, Janet, and Kristen were having issues. Specifically, Janet had effed them both over, and they was not okay with it. So it's like, Janet, you never even fully addressed that, and then you went to hell. Like, I love that Zach said, like, we're not there yet, and they're not a friend. But Michelle was correct. Like, you should not have followed that girl if you're not there yet. Talking about you just wanted to keep the peace. If your opinion and what you want to do with your social media causes unrest and gets rid of the peace, then so be it. Oh, well. So be it. Oh, well. Why do y'all do stuff like that? You follow Janet so that she feels better. Who cares? What's she doing to make anybody else feel better when she wrongs them? Nothing. But I do agree with something that Michelle pointed out. Even though I don't like Janet, I'm going to be fair. They were right. Zach does act nicer and more tolerable of Janet when Nia, Kristen, and Danny are not around. And I can understand why Janet, Michelle, and Brittany would look at him with a side eye like, do you have a problem or do you not? So, Zach, you are being wishy-washy. You twerking on the fences, Kempire says. Shout out to the Kempire. However, it's okay to be neutral. It's okay to be friends with everybody. It's okay to be friends with everybody. Fuck Janet. If like the fact that Janet has a problem with you being friends with everybody is weird. It's weird. Fuck Janet and fuck Brittany, because those two seem to be trying to cause division and upset with people for being friendly. But Michelle, if anything, I do see Michelle making the effort to be there for people and to see both sides. And she acts the same in front of Janet. She acts the same away from Janet. She acts the same in front of Brittany. You know, so I will give Michelle that. But Lala asked the group, she's like, well, why can't you forgive Janet and give her the opportunity to rectify her mistake? They did that season 1 going into 2, and then she went to hell with this Danny and Nia thing. And then why would I want to be friends with somebody who says one thing and then takes it back and acts as if she didn't say it? Like, Janet is dangerous. But Janet tries to explain that she is not the reason that this group is shattered. Janet, you are the reason this group is shattered. Because Danny did a bad behavior, but he apologized for it, and he's made it clear in today's time that he will keep apologizing for it. But you keep bringing it up as if he has never apologized. And you keep reminding the group that he makes you uncomfortable. Last season, you made every little thing a thing. Oh, I found this shot. Oh, he closed the pantry door and was taking a sip of alcohol. Oh, he did this. Janet, you're not slick. You're being filmed. You're being filmed, Fanet. So remember that. when you behave. Remember that when you do what you do. You have contributed to this group having problems. But I think Janet would have done better this season had she not even gone back to the Danny and Nia thing. She, in the beginning of the season, she tried to like not discuss it at all. I'm not going to speak to them. I'm not going to acknowledge them. Then she acted like she wanted to apologize to Nia, but didn't apologize to Nia. Like pretty much when Janet don't get her way, she throws a fit, it seems, and goes back to hell. But I do feel like since she's a huge fan of Bravo TV and want to be on TV, give her a shot without Danny and Nia so she can prove how shitty she truly is. And then what's she going to hide behind? What random trauma will come up when Danny's not here to trigger her essay? Like, can't stand people like Janet. Now, moving forward, Lala is still claiming that she never got an answer on what Janet has done to them personally. And I'm like, this is why you should not be here, Lala. Why would you get an answer on what Janet has done to Danny and Nia personally? They've been telling you all season. You're not accepting it because you're only hearing what Janet and them are saying. Because Lala is super feminist, which I'm not mad at her for that at all. I love that. It's nice to be a girl's girl, but when you're a girl's girl so much that you're just not willing to see things that are obvious, which is the fact that Danny has done nothing to Janet. What Janet is complaining about that Danny did, he did to Jasmine. So, Lala, please mind the business that has to do with you. You don't know much because you weren't on the show. And it doesn't give that you were watching the show. And I know she's part of the friend group, but she obviously wasn't that into the friend group. So, whatever. Go watch season 1, Lauren. Watch it from Utah. Bring the dogs and the babies, please. Moving on. Lacey is having a talk. And I love that Lacey turned Janet's statement around right on her. Lacey explained that Janet has not done anything to Kristen or Zach this year, the same way that Danny has not done anything to Janet this year. But she wants him to be the problem. Now, Lacey, I don't think she likes Jesse very much. However, I do appreciate her for coming in the show. And even though she's with Jesse, she's not just going off of everything that he's saying. And she's actually neutral. And she's like, the same thing that Janet's alleging, you know, vice versa. Like, they haven't done anything to each other. So it's stupid. It's all very stupid. It's stupid. Nobody went and called Janet a raging alcoholic and brought up stuff that had already been moved up for him publicly on a national television show. Like, there's nothing that's happened to them this year. So it's like, we shouldn't still be talking about that. And I'm glad that Lacey said that. And shame on the production of Bravo for not nipping this storyline in the bud sooner. Because sometimes I feel like I get on these lives and that's the only thing we can talk about. And even though I don't care for Janet, I don't want to just, you know, talk down on this woman for 30 minutes to an hour while I do a live. But it's hard when every single episode, the storyline involves Janet, Kristen, Nia, Danny, like, and Zach a little bit. Like, it's hard when we're just talking about the same thing for 16 weeks. Janet says that she feels that Lacey brings out the best in Jesse. I was happy to see that people are warming up to Lacey, but I'm also like, last season y'all didn't like this lady, and Janet was the one who carried the bone about Lacey having a cease and desist. It was Janet who brought that up. Now she's made peace with her. This is what we mean by this lady is messy. But I am glad that they were able to have some type of resolve. But I'm like, how do you go from the last season ended to y'all being so upset with Lacey and refusing to film with her and her refusing to film with y'all to now she brings out the best in Jesse? Y'all know that girl don't like Jesse. Y'all know that girl is with Jesse because she wants to be on TV. Okay? That's why. His card declined. He couldn't even pay for a damn room. Like, please. Yeah, we need a cash shakeup. I can only say so much. Y'all. Now, at the end of the evening, there's a speech that's given for Jasmine and Melissa because they are going to be getting married. I don't know if they're going to film the wedding. I would assume so, since they're filming like her getting her dress and all this stuff. I love love. I really do. I love love because I'm in love. I'm not a hater. I want to see everybody in love. So I'm happy that Jasmine found her person. I know James likes to make statements. You can't find your person this way. Try dating a man or try dating a woman. That's not for everybody. But in Jasmine's case, it did work out. And I'm happy it worked out for her, because when they showed that like clip of the pictures of her and Melissa during the speech that was given, you did see the care. Like, I got more personality from Melissa in those pictures they showed than I did from what I saw at the wedding, from what I've ever seen from her on TV. But obviously they love each other. I love love. I'm glad they had a wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. Obviously they are heavily supported and loved because they had a lot of people show up for them. Congrats to Jasmine and Melissa. Shout out to them. But yeah, that's really it. I guess Jasmine and Melissa, protect your relationship from the toxicity of this friend group, because not so much Michelle, but people like Brittany who are still going through their divorce. And, you know, Brittany does have it a little harder because she's, you know, is divorcing an egomaniac and a narcissist who has a drug problem. She's the mother of a special needs child, which is also extremely difficult. Shout out to all of the parents to neurodivergent children, and to all of the parents who are parents to any child with special needs, medical and beyond. Like, that is a hard thing to do. So shout out to Brittany for that. But sometimes she gives that she wants her friends to be miserable like she is, if that makes sense. And I could be reaching, but she gives that. But that was really it for this episode of The Valley. It's time to wrap this shit the fuck up. Because if next week isn't the finale, what are we doing? But I feel like next week will not be the finale. I feel maybe it will be, and then they'll do like a 2-part reunion. I'm not quite sure, but we didn't really get much. AB said, Jasmine said her mom was always supportive of her coming out, and Melissa is very chill. I agree. You could tell her mom was supportive. I loved when she said, when it wasn't going well with my baby dating the men, I said, I can't have my child upset. Jasmine's mom said, I'm going to just pray for love and somebody that'll treat her right. That's what you should be praying for. I loved that. And I thought it was a big deal, especially because she is Black. In the Black community, being LGBTQ is still very taboo to a certain extent. Like, yes, there are people out and open, and yes, people are coming around, and there are plenty of Black parents that don't care and will accept their kids, but there are still parents that are like, when it comes to that. Like, I had some girlfriends in high school, and my mom put me in church. She was not happy. She was not happy with that at all. So, you know, it's still a little taboo. Not everyone accepts it. I'm always happy to see that people from that community have acceptance from their families, because they already know that, like, I feel like people expect ignorance from the world and people they don't know, but your safe space should be like your family and your friends and your loved ones. So I'm happy to see that Jasmine has that. Melissa has that. And honestly, the foundation of their relationship seems strong. I just don't think Melissa cares for the cameras too much, but she seems to love her. I wish them well. Their wedding was beautiful. Jasmine looked good. And I don't even care for Jasmine, but that wedding looked beautiful. It did. Not amen. Wrap it up. Wrap it the hell up, The Valley. But that is it, y'all, for my review. Shit, my lips is hella dry. Shout out to the replay gang. I love y'all. Thug life. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all for watching. If there's anything I missed out that you feel I should have discussed, let's talk about it in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. I appreciate you, American Born, for always moderating. You really don't skip a beat. I really do appreciate it. It makes my life easier. Shout out to our replay gang yet again. Shout out to our new subscribers. I appreciate y'all. Give a shout out also to Oso Best. He's been helping me with things in the background. The music that you hear at the beginning of all of my videos comes from Oso Best. Give him a stream. He's on all platforms. Apple Music, Spotify. I don't know what else he's on. He probably going to be like, you did a terrible job at throwing it out. But I'm like, I'm always uplifting Black creators. Let me uplift my own husband. But I will see you guys tomorrow for the premiere of $1 Million Nannies. And I'll see y'all again on Saturday to go over Love After Lockup. This is Polly, Raising Canaan, and The Shot. Okay, we did a lot done. AB's laughing at me. That was a shameless plug. I should plug his music better. Oso space V3ST on there you go. I did a song with him too, and I'm going to be doing another song with him that will hopefully come out in August. I do sing a little bit. But y'all, I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoy your Friday, Junior. I will see y'all tomorrow. Love and light. Peace.
Bye.